Hey guys, so I got a request yesterday, yesterday, the day before yesterday. My days just kind of all go together, but I got a request about to show how to color a rose or how I color a rose. I've looked through some of my books and I've been itching to color in this book, so I figured I would go ahead and do that. This is Colorful Dragons by Color It. I really like this book. It's the front cover. It's this big thick cardboard. It's spiral bound. I like the paper in it. I'm going to go ahead and do a flip through of it in case none of you have seen this. I'll of course leave the links down below. I'll also leave I've been trying to always leave the colors I use down in the description too. Since I've been having to do a lot more uploaded videos, can't live stream yet. Not until my hands get better, but we're getting there. So I've been trying to leave those. In this book, I'm going to be using the Castle Art pencils. So those will all, and of course, they're numbered, so they're all going to be down in the description. But I really like this book. Like I said, the paper is thick, which I really like. And I have not tackled any picture in this book quite yet. There are a lot that I want to color. I looked at this picture because, of course, it has roses. There's actually quite a few pictures in here that have roses. I was actually really surprised. Like this one. The picture that I picked, though, it is a landscape instead of a portrait. And I kind of, when I seen it, I instantly had an idea that came to mind. I'm sure that some of you guys have had that too. You look at a picture and you're like, ooh, I can, see it in my head and I want to use these colors. And that's what happened when I seen the picture that I did choose to pick. So I'm going to start with the rose. It's a nice big rose. I'm going to start with the rose, and then I am going to go ahead and finish the picture on camera. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it all done in one part. It might be 2 parts. Not sure yet. Oops. This is the picture that I decided to color. I'm going to color the rose like a pink kind of color, but I want to do like one gold dragon and one silver dragon. Is why I picked that. And there is a lot of pages in here. And, the book's on a little bit on the higher side than some of the other books found on Amazon. But for the quality of paper, the amount of pictures that you get in it, I don't think that it's a bad price at all. In the U.S., I think it's about $20. And what I do like is they are perforated, so you could, take them out and frame them if that's something that you like to do with your art. And that is all she wrote. So let's go back to the page that I want to color. Of course, I put this little tab in here. There we go. So we are going to start with this page. And like I said, we're going to start with the rose. Now, in this book, it does have like some black lines where the artist says, to do a little bit of the shading, maybe go a little bit darker. But for this demonstration, let's pretend that those lines aren't there. Or we can still use them, but I'm going to kind of zoom it in a little bit. Okay. So like I said, we're just going to focus on just the rose part, not the leaves, not anything else. Right now, just the rose. So I picked out 4 pencils. Like I said, we're going to be using Castle Arts. So we're going to go from darkest to lightest. We're going to go 087, 032, 033, and 082. Whenever I'm coloring a rose, I try to get colors that they're what I call transition colors, where they go from dark to light very easily, but very softly. Just because, I don't know, when I look at roses, I admire how, even when you look at a rose, how it just kind of goes from dark to light. And it's just a very soft feel to it. Okay, so with my darkest, which is 087, anywhere that it kind of folds over, like right here, you can see where it kind of folds over. Anywhere where it overlaps, like in here where these leaves overlap, or in here where they kind of sit under the other leaf, I'm going to go ahead and color all of that in kind of dark. And right now I'm just using kind of light pressure, and I'm just going in all these little creases here, anywhere that they kind of meet each other. So like on this one, they meet here because this petal's underneath this petal. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this petal, it kind of lays under this one. So I'm going to go a little bit darker around that edge. And then of course, since this is on top of here, we're going to go across this edge. Same thing here. This petal is over that one. So we're going to go up that edge too. And like I said, this is just the way I do it. I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of people who have other methods. This is just mine. So same thing over here. And I'm going to take it that this is folded over, so it's kind of rounded over. So I'm just going to go right underneath that too. And I do prefer to go in circular motions. Do this crease along the bottom here. Since that's folded over, I kind of want to go like it's kind of like a cup. That's how I'm picturing it. It's kind of cupped in there. Let's go here. And since I haven't been coloring a lot, I have learned, and it's something like, so I try to find the silver lining in everything, you know, and I have learned since all of this, and since I have to kind of slow down, my hands don't let me do a lot of stuff at the moment. I've learned to slow down. Before I was able to color, you know, pretty quickly. But I've learned to slow down a little bit, and that's really helping me just kind of refine some things and just relax and enjoy it a little bit more. So I'm really liking that. My new lights should be here later on next week. So hopefully I can get rid of some of these shadows that I have happening. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. So again, this petal, I feel like it overlaps that one. So I'm going to go right around the side there. And then right at the bottom, bring that up. And I'm not worrying too much about light source. I'm just kind of working where it kind of cups, making it darker. And then we're just going to go out on the whole thing lighter. I have been thinking about, since I am trying to build up my muscle memory again, I have been thinking about doing like a little segment or series, like Back to the Basics, because now that I'm learning how to color for longer periods of time, I feel like I'm back at the beginning. And so today I was actually swatching out some new pencils, and I was like, I was like, you know, this is a really good exercise. It was something that I always did. You know, when I first started, I swatch, and some people like swatching, some people just despise swatching. Um, but I'm like, this was an exercise, or it could be an exercise to build up your tolerance for, you know, longer coloring. And it also helps with, you know, blending and shading and learning your pressures. So I was thinking about doing a back to basics, since, well, technically that's what I'm doing. I don't know yet. Luckily, the past few days, this is another one that I feel like it kind of um, curls over. So I'm going to go right underneath that. Um, but the good thing is, lately, I've been having some really good days. For a while there, I was having some really dark days, and it got kind of scary at times. But past few days have been good days for me, so I figured I would monopolize on them and make a few videos, store them, and then release them to you guys on those days that are bad. Okay, so now it's like, I know this is a leaf, but I'm gonna go ahead and make these all petals to make it kind of come out a little bit more. Like, those are like the petals that are, you know, have you ever seen those roses where you got those few loose ones that kind of hang off? So I'm going to go ahead and do those. And we'll do this one here too. Like, that one's curled over, so we're going to go underneath the lip where I think the curl is. And we're going to go right underneath this one too. We're just going to do them all. Even though I think that was part of the leaf. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. Because as I color, if I think that it's part of the leaf, even though I really don't think so, because I think it just overlaps the leaf the way that it's sitting, and that's the way we'll make it look. Okay, so from here, so I did my dark, and I'm not done with the dark. I'm going to come back in with it one more time. Oh, I missed one right here where these two overlapped. Some shading in there, like there's a crease, since they already put those dark lines in there. And then right there where it overlapped. Okay, so I'm going to go to my second darkest, which is my 032, and I'm going to, let's see, trying to pick a petal. Let's just do this one here. So I'm going to start blending into what I just colored. So I'm going to go down in that color and then just bring it up just a little bit, because I want to try to go from dark to light, of course. Bring that up. And we're going to go ahead on just this petal, and we're going to move on to the next color. So then my next color is going to be the 033, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring it in over what we just colored a little bit and then bring it up. And right now, because I'm doing just a very light pressure, kind of all looks the same, but it won't, I promise. And then with the 082, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the top, blending it in with what I just colored. So as you can see, it kind of all looks like the same. But when we go back in, I'm going to go back in with the 087, and I'm going to start darkening this up. And I'm using a more medium pressure on these areas. And then right at the edge of that, I'm going to lighten up the pressure again and just do a line around that dark area to act as a buffer between my next color and that one, so it kind of blends together. So then I'm going to bring in the 32, and we're going to go into like that little buffer zone, and we're going to do some medium pressure out, and then do, I just call it a little buffer because that's what I do. I just lighten up my pressure, do just a little buffer line, and then pick up my next color, which would be 033, and do the same thing over that buffer line. And I kind of go light over that buffer line, and then I kind of pick up my medium pressure, and then do one more. And then with my lightest color, I do the same thing. And you can see it start taking shape where you can actually see where it goes from dark to light. You get a little bit more dimension. And that's where I leave each one for now. I do come back after the whole rose is done and I darken up a little bit more. I normally do anywhere from 3 to 5 layers on some things. And that's just how I color. So that's what I'm going to, kind of do with all of these. And these like little tiny spaces, you're probably only going to get 2 colors in it, and that's fine because that's just going to be a dark shadowy spot anyway. Some you might only fit 3 colors in, and that's a-okay. I have to say, like, I think that roses are one of my favorite things to color. They always have been. I don't know. And like with some of these, like this petal here, you can go and you can make it, dark from like the bottom like this way and bring the light up. But when I look at it, I feel like the petal is going out, so the lightest area would be over here. But that's just me personally. You guys can do it any way that you want to. I have another Creative Haven video that I need to put out. I'm going to put just a little bit of this darker color right at the base here. I need to get it in my editing program. I need to work on that. I just wasn't up to be staring at the computer tonight. Like, that just was not up my alley. Plus, I've been having some Wi-Fi issues, which is really irritating me. Now, on these ones that kind of curve out, what I want to do is I kind of want to bring this second darkest color around the inside of this curve. And then I want to bring the third darkest color, the second lightest, however you want to see it, however you want to look at it. But I want to bring that on the other edge because to me that's going to be lighter. But I want to leave that really light area in the center of the curl. Like that. Again, just how I do it. I think over time we all kind of get into our own groove of what we like, or how we color. Some of us like the more technical aspects of things. Others just want to pull out some markers and just straight color, and that is fine too. You do whatever makes you happy. Me, I just go with whatever feels right, or whatever just suits my fancy at the moment. On this part right here, I just want this little top to be light, so my medium colors are just gonna kind of go and loop around. Okay. And I am, as I go, I'm trying to like blend all those colors together at the same time. That's why you see me going back over all of the colors. Because in my opinion, I think that's when you get like those, the more seamless looking blends is when you kind of just blend it all together at the same time. You kind of lose some of those harsh lines. I'm sorry if I'm moving this around on you guys a lot. I'm not doing it intentionally. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but it is starting to come together. And roses are very forgiving, um, in my opinion. Like when you go to color them, they are forgiving. I think that if you're trying to do the whole shading, making it look dimensional, as long as you get down in these little creases and these crevices and get it, you know, dark, that makes a world of difference. I mean, it just brings it to a whole new level. I do want to do a video on how to do a rainbow rose, because I think those are really pretty and it's something that's very popular right now. They're not hard to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go with my lightest and we're just going to go over all these petals. Again, I'm not pressing hard at all on these layers. They're just very light layers for me to lay down my footprint. Get a base down for me to build on. Like I always say, like it's just like a foundation. And then from there you just build up the color to the richness that you want. Because I mean, technically I could leave it like this if I wanted to. If I just wanted it, you know, to be like this, and that would be okay. But if you want to put a little bit more work into it, or you want it to look a little bit different, then you just keep building upon this with layers of the same colors. few more. And then we're just going to repeat the process. Now I'm going to go back to this one, which is the very first one that I worked on, and I am going to darken it up even more. So again, just with that medium pressure, I'm going to go right back over it, doing that little buffer line again. 32 and 33 look very similar when they're sitting next to each other, so I have to keep checking the numbers to make sure that I have the right ones. And that's pretty much the look that I want to go for. Again, blending it all together with that lightest of color. So that's what I want my whole rose to look like, that dark to that light, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and keep doing. I may talk through some of it, speed up some of it, I don't know yet. I kind of get, lost with what I'm doing at times and forget that I'm actually recording. And so then I stop talking. Sometimes I just sit here with the camera on and just color, thinking, well, if I really like what I was doing in there, if I think that it is something that you guys would like, I'm like, well, I can always do a voiceover and explain to you guys what I'm doing, because normally I'll just, I'll turn on music and just sit here and color, take a break, turn off the camera, come back, turn it back on. Because, sometimes you have those moments you're like, man, I wish I would have recorded that. That turned out really good. And you guys know me. I don't mind sharing my messes with you guys either. So, even if it's a mess, I don't care. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys could see the difference of where I started to where I'm going with it. And literally, I'm just kind of going back and forth, and I'm just doing one petal at a time. Just for the sake of this video, normally I'll just do it kind of all together. Although, sometimes I do like doing them one at a time, because then you kind of see it emerging. And I do like doing like I'm using 4 colors now. I do like using all 4 colors, and I just like using that light to medium pressure, especially on the second and third layer. But I use them all, and I go back over them, because I just think that it just gives you that extra richness, instead of just going, real hard at first. Get that layered look. And I should have my brush out, brushing this off. But of course, right now, oh, there it is. So, I hope this helps out. And like I said, I kind of want to do a gold and a silver dragon, so I'll probably record that too. I was debating if I wanted to do a red rose or this kind of pinky rose, and for some reason this pink just kept popping out at me, so I figured, why not go ahead and do it. I don't know. I mean, I've done like burgundy kind of red, but I don't think I've ever actually did a red rose. Then again, reds are really hard in some of the pencil brands. At least I think so. And I'm just going back and forth like this from one color to the next. I kind of got myself in the habit. I'm going to slide this over so I can show you guys how I do it. So this is my pencils from dark to light. So I kind of go like this, and I go in with my dark. And when I'm finished with that, I kind of put it on this side, but I had it facing up. So this way I don't have to look at those numbers no more when they're so close together. And I can just kind of seamlessly just keep going and not really have to pay attention. Since I moved my book over, I keep hitting this pencil bar at the bottom of my desk here. Hopefully I'm still, yeah. And then I just alternate them. Whatever way they're facing, I face them the opposite way when I set them down, but still in their order. And that's just something I do. Doesn't mean you guys have to do that. That's just something that I do. And now it's just a habit, so I don't even think about it when I'm doing it. It just automatically happens. Sometimes I have to slide them over because they get a little far away. So hopefully you guys can see how this is starting to develop. And I really do think this was part of the leaf, but it doesn't matter because we can make it whatever we want because it's our coloring book. I need to turn it just a bit this way. And I'm sure that my hand's in the way, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to go right back here. Just lay it on just a little bit. So that is pretty much how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and speed it up from here. And then when I get closer up here, closer to finishing, I'll slow it back down again, and then you guys can see me finish it up. Oh, before I do that, now if you wanted to go in and make this a little bit darker, let me grab a color here really quick. If you wanted to give it that extra dimension, I need to go on and grab my pencils. You could go in with like a dark gray. Trying to find it. I think it's this one. Yeah. Let me give this a sharpen. Now this is just, it's a dark gray. It is 065. You can also go in with like an indigo kind of blue if you wanted to, because the blue would actually turn the purple kind of pink, or the pink kind of purple. But you can go in and then just do a really thin line right where those edges are, or where they overlap. Oops. And you can see, I don't know if you guys can see or not, the difference between that petal and the other ones, just where it kind of just got a little bit darker in color. You can go around. And this is just optional. This is like that extra step that you really don't have to take unless you want to. If you feel like you just want it just a little bit darker. Like I said, I'm just going right around those little edges. That's it. And then there. And then it's just a little bit more defined. And like I said, that's a personal preference. You don't have to do that, but if you wanted to, like I use the 065. Oh, this bar is going to drive me crazy. I think I'm going to go ahead and take a screwdriver and take that off shortly. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and then we'll move on to the dragons. Okay, so I figured I would go ahead and do the center um, and chit chat with you guys. I'm just doing the same thing. Really enjoying this color here. And I do tend, when I color, I do tend to use just circular motions. It might look like I'm going up and down, but it's not. It's just really small, most small circles. kind of enjoying the process here. When you have to, when somebody asks you to show them how to do something, you kind of have to slow it down in your head and figure out how you do it. Um, you know, I have coloring roses is just something that I enjoy doing, so I don't put mind into how I'm doing it anymore. Like, I don't think about it, I just do it. So when I was asked to do this specific tutorial, it took me a minute to process it in my head, like, okay, what do I really do? So it was kind of nice. So, girl, thank you for requesting this, because it allows me then to think about the steps. And when you think about those little steps that you take, you then can refine them, and you can find different things that you like, little nuances. You're like, ooh, maybe I should just do that a little bit different. Like adding the gray. I normally don't add the gray to it. I normally go in with an indigo blue. But I liked the way that the gray looked with the pink. I didn't want it to be that purpley color, so I took a gamble with that gray, and I do like it. So, as long as you're learning something new every day, right? Whether it's coloring or life related, that's what's important. Okay. Almost done with this rose here. And then we can move on to the dragons. That's what I'm really excited about, those dragons. I really like the gold combination that I can get with the castle arts. The silver, I'm a little iffy on, or the silver look, I'm a little iffy on, but we'll make it work. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? And it looks silvery enough to me. It's one combination that I've been playing with. And if you guys didn't know, because I did speed up the rest of this part, but I have not sharpened any of my pencils at all. I didn't resharpen anything. If that gives you at all an inkling about how light I'm actually going. I'm not putting barely any pressure on at all. It's just more or less the layers that I am letting take over and create what I'm doing. And you're more than welcome to put more layers on than what I have. To get it a little bit different. I do rotate my pencils, so they do stay a little sharper. And especially this paper here, or maybe it is because I color with such a light hand, but this paper takes so many layers. Like, I could just keep going and going. I can probably put 5 or 6 more layers on it if I wanted to. But this is just the color that I was imagining in my head. I got Xander, the new Coloring Cafe book tonight. The coloring, those books, the Coloring Book Cafe, they go on, when they first release them, they're on sale for $3.99. And they had a dragon one this time. So I went ahead and got that. I like coloring dragons, and so does he. So it was something that, if we each got one, we can do it together. So I know he's pretty excited about that. And at $3.99, you can't beat that price. Because once they go off of sale, then they jump up to $7.99. And this is just me personally, with the paper quality. And the amount of pages that you get. I just, for $8, I could pay a couple dollars more and get something with a little bit of a better quality. And that's just my opinion. Okay, and so with that, that is pretty much done. I'm just going to go back in with the gray. And I'm not going to do the parts that are rolled over. I'm not going to do the dark where I put the pink. I'm just going to do like underneath them. And that was a bad example because that's the one that's kind of like a cup. Now this is the only time that I'm not using a circular motion. You can also come in here if you didn't want to use a pencil. You could come in here with a fine liner, like a really dark pink fine liner would work. And just outline those creases. So like where this is folded over here, I put a dark pink line there, but I'm not going to put the gray there. I'm just going to put it right underneath that lip. But yeah, everywhere that I'm putting the gray, if you wanted to take a dark pink fine liner, you can do that too, and it would give you some extra dimension. And then when the picture's done, we're going to come in with a white gel pen, and we're going to put some shine spots on this rose. I don't know why I'm concentrating on this so hard, but I am. Like, I'm in deep concentration. I think it's because my hands are starting. I can feel them cramping up. But I don't want to stop. I want to feel accomplished, I don't know if you guys are like that. Like, when I'm coloring a picture, like, I want to get at least one thing fully done, and then I feel a little bit more accomplished. And that's where I'm at right now. Just when I feel like I did something. Okay. Make sure I got it all. I'm going to do this little cup area right there. This little crease. And I think that will do it all right here. I forgot this one. And I think that would do it for now. But so that is the start of this picture. Like I said, we're going to come in and we're going to start on these dragons. Let me zoom you guys out just a bit here. There you go. So yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to work on the dragons and hopefully get this picture done pretty soon. All right, thanks guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this short tutorial. And I guess we'll go ahead and work on the metals. I guess could be a sort of a tutorial. But like I said, I was asked to do the rose, so that's what I wanted to do. Thanks for watching. And hopefully,
I'm not sure.
I will go ahead and just splice these together, depending on how long this is. I'm not quite sure yet. All right, guys. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.